The Old Man and the Sea, part 15, third part of that part 15, hopefully the last one. Okay, I stopped the last video with this sentence. But the bird was almost out of sight now, and nothing showed on the surface of the water. Period. The sentence could have ended here, and if we were one of those guys I told you not to be in the first one of these 15 videos, you could just ignore this whole part here, and that's okay. You would have understood, the book anyway. But keep in mind, we can get, and I think it's pretty easy to do so. I can get 80% of this book out, and you understand it pretty well anyway. So, again, that's not the point. Okay. Patch. Remember, maybe I'll have some skin problems, right? And if I do, I'll have some patches of, dark spots on my face. Or white spots. There's a disease, right? You can have a patch of oil on the parking lot, and that if that patch is under your car, you should be worried, because probably it means your whatever part of the car is not so nice. Okay, so there are some patches. Patches of what? On the water. Okay, there was nothing but patches of what? Sun bleach. Remember that bleach is that kind of it's not a detergent, but you use for washing mainly white clothes. All right. If you get, for example, a black T-shirt and you let some bleach fall on it, then there will be lots of patches of. I guess it gets like gray or something, right? Sun bleached. It is something that has lost its color because of the sun. Okay. Now, Sargasso weed is just like we have seen probably right in the beginning of the book. That is seaweed and gulf weed, But basically, we are talking about some floating plants. Okay? So you could see those patches of floating weed that lost its colors because of the sun. And the purple, formalized, iridescent, gelatinous bladder of a Portuguese man of war. Okay. Don't get desperate. Portuguese man of war is a kind of animal. It's a kind of one of those jellyfish, but it's beautiful. It looks like a balloon, and it has a kind of oblong shape and a trail. Maybe a nice exercise for you now would be stop the video and look up Portuguese men of war, or just men of war. But be careful because men of war is also a fish, Okay, bladder is that part in our body that stores urine. And there's also, what is the other, I think it's swim bladder, if I'm not wrong. Sorry if I'm wrong. Swim bladder it's like a little balloon fish have inside their body, so it helps them breathe maybe and float, If you have never cleaned a fish, I'm very sorry. You don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but I remember when I was a kid, we used to cut the fish open because my father used to fish, and we always like to pop the bladder of the fish. It's like a little balloon. It was very fun. That's not the point. The point is the shape of the Portuguese man of war, of this animal, is like a bladder. The consistency is like a jello. So that's why we're talking about gelatinous bladder, right? Iridescent is the color of the rainbow, okay? Something that is iridescent? Bubbles. Like soap bubbles. If you take a look at them against the sun, you can see many colors like the rainbow. Okay, so this is the Portuguese man of war, right? I would stop the video now, read this part, try to picture it, and then go back. But some patches of yellow sun-bleached sargasso weed and the purple formalive's iridescent gelatinous bladder of a Portuguese man of war. It's not the bladder of the Portuguese man of war, meaning that it was a part of the Portuguese man of war that was taken. The man of war, the Portuguese man of war, was like a bladder. Understand that, okay? Floating close beside the boat. It turned on its sides, the man of war, and then righted itself. It floated cheerfully, full of joy and happiness, as a bubble with its long dead purple filaments trailing like a yard behind it in the water. Now that the video is done, go back, read it to yourself one more time. Repeat those words to yourself. And of course, do the exercises in Quizlet and vocabulary.com.